Hi, I'm Ken Krell. Speakers, authors, coaches, thought leaders come to me to discover how they can take their current position and turn it into high-powered, high-profit, transformational digital events. I can do the same for you too. You're about to watch an excerpt of one of our online events that I think you may find very powerful. After that, I'll meet you and we'll talk about it.
I thought I was focused on the guidebook that I'm writing for teens called How to Matter Now, because I think it's very insulting that we tell our teens, well, you sit over there and behind this desk for 8 years and you go into high tech and maybe you'll be useful someday, and then we'll listen to you if you show that you can be a leader in your field. So it's very competitive and it's very restrictive and it's very unimaginative. So in doing that, I want to bring together the most stimulating people that I know who can support teams in really exploring what's most useful and most fun at the same time where the world is in its biggest crisis ever.
So how do we do that? I mean, how do you make that difference?
Well, I think we could restructure it by having paid internships in several areas. There's a very good program that does this at the Parsons School of Design, which is merged with the New School of Social Research, amazingly enough, in New York. And there's a young woman who's making a huge company for herself, designing clothing. And we've all heard about, having a workshop of limited items so they can be more useful. Well, she has found a way to support refugees by creating a garment that is a coat, but it's a sleeping bag, it's a flotation device, it's a tent. I mean, just the fact that anybody can even conceive of doing this is mind-boggling to me.
That's incredible.
There's another example of someone called the sous chef, SIOUX, who comes from the Midwest, and he's very concerned with raising the level of knowledge about how valuable ethnic foods, native foods were. So he has this pop-up business that goes around the country and brings in people with big bucks because it's expensive. You pay $26 for tea and a few little snackies. But he uses that for educational programs. Because I'm very concerned, as I said, I have 2 teenage grandsons. I'm not allowed to talk to them about the things that I know that their parents would rather I didn't share. And one of them is about sexuality. I think teens are very interested in sexuality, and I think it's absolutely abysmal what's happening with them because they're being targeted by the hardcore porn industry. And I don't want anybody calling it adult films. I think we're complicit when we do that. This stuff is poisonous, and it's one of the biggest industries in the world, and it's very predatory. And I think that teens deserve to know about erotica. It's completely missing, and a lot of them are recreating on the weekends, going to hookups, and it's not passion exchange, it's not even love, it's the number of hits that you get. And so we really need to be addressing them in a way that's respectful and tactful. I want them to know that this isn't the first generation that's dealt with things. I have a guide. It's more like a handbook where it goes into 10 wildly passionate women who changed history. And one of them, for instance, was Veronica Franco, who saved Venice from the Turks, even though she'd been brought up for the Inquisition twice. But so many of the guys on the panel were her clients. She was a prostitute. And so she ended up being one of the leading intellectuals in the country. And nobody, who's telling kids about that? So it's fun to do. But I also want them to feel that they are more worthy of respect. I'm doing this because I'm the world's oldest and luckiest teenager. So I feel like, I need to get the message out. I'm 78 and I don't have a lot of time. So I really want, to get the ball rolling. And so I would love to work with anybody on the panel who's concerned about this. I know that Madeline and I are both writing guides for teens, and I think it's important not to cringe at some of the things that they're not being taught, but also to address the things that they are and reforming them. I am so happy that I found this podcast. I've taken a bunch of courses on podcasting, and I've never had one that was a big party. I mean, this is the most delightful webinar that I've ever been in. Ken's guided us into making all these friendships just effortlessly, and it's wonderful. Most shows are just telling you how to get booked or how to find the best number or make your revenue. That's not what this is about. This is speaking to our hearts and our missions, and so I'm really impressed.
So that's one short taste of how you can use the power of digital events to help people transform their lives and find a new way to live. Want to learn how you can put it to use in your own business? Well, stick with me for the Digital Events Essentials Plan. It's called DEEP. It'll take you through how you can plan, produce, and profit from your own online events. It's pretty great, it's pretty free, and I think you'll like it pretty much. So come join me. Click the link either in the description below or somewhere on this video itself, and we'll take you over there. It's completely free. I think you're going to love it, and it will give you the plan you need to plan, produce, and profit from your own digital events.